Howdy, hi. I don't think I did a reading yesterday, and I wanted to because it was my birthday. But I don't think I did. So it was my birthday yesterday. I am now officially an adult. I'm 35. Oh, this is my official adult age. But I did get these, so I went out yesterday. I was busy all day yesterday. I was making money to go out, and then I went out. I had a free ticket to a comedy show, but needed money for Ubers, and to be able to get, there was a 2-drink minimum, so I had to be able to buy something at the bar. It was so nice going out. I had such a great time. I forget how much I love being out. I forget how much I love my friends when I'm out, like being able to see them. The people that I consider friends, it's so nice. And I always happen to see them. I always happen to see different people, and it just is such a pleasure. Every time I go out, I see different people, and it always makes me so happy. I should have stayed out longer. Immediately after I decided to leave, I was gonna go over to a different club. I was really thinking about it, but I just decided to go home. I hadn't been out in like almost a year now, so I just decided to go home. And immediately after I left, I had a new guy that I met, a new friend that I met, another comedian, hit me up and was gonna let me into his show. And I was like, oh man, I should have stayed. It would have been nice to go out, but I'll likely go out this weekend. I'm going to start trying to get out more. I'm going to start trying to get back on the ball with my art and entertainment. So that's something I'm going to be doing every day. I'm going to be trying to be more productive every day. Interesting. Okay, so I'm noticing, are these the only ones like that? No, there's a few of them. I don't know how this happened. I just got, okay, so yesterday I got my new decks, which I've been very excited about, and I am still very excited. I'm especially excited to use these new decks, because I just feel like they're going to have such a different feel. So I got the regular tarot, like my other one is a Rider Waite. This is AE. So I don't know for sure, but it's still like the normal tarot deck, but it's pink and rainbow colors. Beautiful. Good feminine energy. That to me is a power. It's actually masculine, but like it's a power color for me. So that's going to be a fun deck to use. And this is likely going to become my main deck. And I think I'm going to let these that are now, this is my holographic deck that I've been using. I think that probably not use those as much unless I need to feel some older, more like consistent energy that way, but I'd like to get some energy into this deck for sure. So I'm very excited to use that. However, just because I had such a fun time last night and it was my birthday and I just woke up feeling all excited. I was up until like 5. I've been up until 5 like every night almost this week. And I think I'm just going to keep doing that because I'm probably just going to start going out again more consistently. So I just had this like energy. Sorry, I'm realizing that this is caught up in itself. So I've had this like, I'm just feeling very nice, despite all odds, and I know that like it's a weird time. My roommate was smart to have taken off of work for a couple days, revolving around the elections, because he already had a strong feeling that Trump was going to win, and most of the people at his work were not voting for Trump and are likely extremely distraught right now. I didn't vote, and had I had voted, I would not have voted for Trump. I literally would have written myself into the ballot. I definitely wouldn't have voted for Trump. However, I understand why people did. I don't think it's a great thing, but I don't think Kamala would have been any better. I'm pretty sure that what is going to happen regardless. I don't care which puppet is in there. I think it's all just a big game. I've said this before. Not that my political views matter, and I'm not trying to deter anybody about anything. I very much just believe in people coming to a point of like leading themselves and So, like, there's so many people right now that are super distraught about Trump. I'm not going to be one of those people. Not because I support Trump in any fashion. I think he's likely the worst candidate that we've really had probably ever. And it's likely to lead us into the actual Third World War. But I think that those things are, if that's what happens, that's what's supposed to happen. I'm really not concerned about, like, the state of the world. I've been prepared for this. I've been planning for things to be the way that they are my entire life. I was raised to believe in the end of times. And so I'm not scared of those things. I also believe that a new world is coming, and I'm a part of that. So I'm not letting fear ruin anything or run my life. I'm afraid of shit. I'm not giving anyone or anything that power. I do personally think that that's a little bit crazy, and I feel for those that are feeling some type of way out of fear and concern, but you're actually creating that. Nothing has changed. Nothing's happening yet. There hasn't been any legislation that trans people aren't going to have freedom and that women aren't going to be able to do these things. There already has been. I get it. I get those types of things, but nothing's happened yet. So, like, to be so preemptively afraid of certain things, like, unless you're actually getting down to the nit and gritty and doing work to ensure that those things don't happen right now, if you're just sitting around crying, being really emotional, wanting everybody else to feel bad for you because of this, like, we ain't on the same boat. I ain't on the boat with the Trumpers either, but I'm also not living in fear. I think everybody's going insane right now, and it's kind of ridiculous. So, as much as I would like to use this deck more regularly, and then I got this Hermetic deck, which is extremely powerful, and I will likely use this a little bit later today. I was trying to decide if I should use it first or not. This is a powerful deck. I just, like, taking the cards out. I haven't used it. I just literally picked up the deck and then spread it out and kind of, like, looked at a few of the pictures, not even, like, barely. And it's dark, it's deep, it's dense, it's extremely, yeah, this is a very powerful deck. I'm not sure it's going to take me a minute to really be able to get into the power of this, and to use it to its fullest extent. The cool thing about pretty much any deck is that, you know, it is dependent on the reader, but, like, you can take any deck and make anything of it that you will. But this one in particular, like, you know, this one's dark and deep and powerful. So I will do a read. I might do reads all day. I might use these different decks, just because I'm excited to have them, and I'm excited to get into these energies. I'm a very visually stimulated person to begin with, so, like, certain colors, certain shapes, certain styles, all this different type of imagery. I studied, you know, occult imagery for quite some time. I'm by no means a professional in those types of ways. You could study certain symbology for 30, 40, 50 years, and you're still always going to be learning something. So everything I do is oracally based, right? It's all just pulling out of a broader energy transference between my connection with these things and you know, it's all oracle. It's not as much like active training. But just because the energy feels so crazy right now, I mean, I've been great. Yesterday was great. I had a wonderful day. Leading up to it was a little bit rough. Last week started to get rough for me, and, like, the few days before my birthday, I started to feel slightly depressed, which, like, I really haven't dealt with. Like, even when I've gotten really down and sad thinking about, like, different things that have happened, missing my dogs, all of these different types of things, I haven't let myself get depressed at all, and I did kind of feel it a bit. But I discussed it in a video. Part of that is because I'm in a space now where I'm actually able to process those things where I haven't been able to for years. And I've let myself do that. So I also I haven't celebrated my birthday since I celebrated my 16th birthday. Celebrated my 16th birthday, celebrated my 13th birthday. 13th birthday, I'm pretty sure. No, I had a 13th birthday party. I had a 16th birthday party, I had a 13th birthday party, and I had a 6th birthday party. And a 21st birthday party. So I have celebrated my birthday a few times. But unless it was a big thing like that, unless I was making a party out of it, and then I have to get into this social, like, oh yeah, everything's great and fine and dandy, which, like, I'm gonna be real with you, aside from my 21st birthday, because that was the first time I truly ever got drunk. So I was just kind of, I was fucked up. So that was fine. But even then, like, I was really struggling with depression, but, like, all of these other birthdays, like, they've been depressing for me. Even at the parties, like, I'm, like, doing this weird social thing, but, like, secretly I'm actually incredibly depressed. So I've never celebrated my birthdays, and my birthday has always kind of been the start of an extremely depressing period of time. I've always kind of struggled a bit with the seasonal depression, and then on top of it, like, my birthday in of itself, I've had several major traumas that have occurred on my birthday. Not major traumas, but, like, I've had several traumas, you know, like, different things that have happened on I'm not major traumas. I had a friend die on my birthday. I had, it wasn't on my birthday. I found out on my birthday. I had, I've gotten sexually assaulted on my birthday when I was younger. I had a boy break up with me on my birthday twice. I dated this dude. He broke up with me on my birthday when we first dated and left me for his ex. His ex now. It was his ex then. And then he got back with her. And he broke up with me on my birthday. And then I got back with him years and years later. This was like 3 years ago. For a short time. And I ended up kind of breaking up with him, more or less. I was pushing for it, but he basically, like, pushed it to that point too on my birthday. And I was like, fuck this. So, like, I've had a lot of random things like that have happened on my birthday. And then my birthday also leads into, then comes Thanksgiving, which is like a big family time. And when I was growing up, it was like, you know, we would go for Thanksgiving, we would go for Christmas, we would go for, sometimes for, like, Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and usually Father's Day, sometimes Mother's Day, depended. But that's when we would see all the family. We'd all get together with all the family, right? And those times were always weird for me too. I was always, like, the butt of all my family's jokes. They kind of always picked on me all the time. So as much as I was also very close to my family. I was kind of dumb when I was younger, like, people picking on me like that. My mom was my worst bully growing up. So, like, that's what I thought love was. So, like, I didn't view it as traumatizing at the time. But at the same time, there was a general anxiety that revolved around the holidays, because I knew that that's when I would be feeling super anxious, because I would be getting made fun of, if not assaulted sexually. So that always just made me feel some type of way. And I really didn't recognize that until I was an adult. But, like, as I got older, it just got harder and harder and more depressing. Also, my dad died between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So every year, that was also a time that was really hard for my mom. And thus, I kind of just took a lot of that on. So this time of year, like, I always loved Halloween, but was never allowed to celebrate it. I loved the energy of it, but directly after Halloween is my birthday, and I always hated that. I hated that it was after Halloween. I always wanted my birthday to be in October for some reason. I always hated that my birthday came after Halloween. I always hated, and my birthday just felt like Halloween was good and fun, even though we didn't even celebrate it. But, like, I could see other people having fun, and the energy was fun. But then it was like immediately after Halloween, like now it's like it's fall, seasonal depression starts setting in, and my birthday was almost like the mark of when everything starts to get really shitty, you know, and then we have like all this family stuff and everything like that. So for the longest time, I've just avoided my birthday at all costs, and felt some type of way about it. But this year, because I'm an adult now, I decided that I was going to celebrate it. And yeah, I had a really nice time, and I'm really glad that I did, and it felt nice. I also, like, don't go around being like, oh, it's my birthday, buy me a drink, do this thing for me, it's my birthday. It's just nice to get out and to treat myself away. My friend Yander knew that it was my birthday, because we're friends on social media and stuff like that, too. But, like, nobody treated me any differently because it was my birthday, which is very nice. I love that. I love that, too, to be honest. It's nice to have it, like, acknowledged to some small degree, but it's also nice just to, like, not have that. So anyways, I was in a great mood yesterday. I had a great time, and then being out, like, they treat me like a fucking queen. I'm so thankful. I'm so incredibly blessed. This city, like, despite all of the bullshit that I've also dealt with, but I deal with that regardless, but, like, the city has also treated me better than anywhere else I've ever been in my life. California was beautiful, and California was very good to me in a lot of ways, but it was also really fucked up in a lot of ways. Like, I was more impoverished there than I've ever been here. Even when I was living on the street when I first came back into Austin this past time, not this past time, obviously, because I just got back from Wisconsin, but like last year, even when I was on the street here, people care for each other more here than anywhere else I've ever been, which I know is crazy because this is a big Trumpville, right? But like, Austin's beautiful, and the people here are really beautiful. They're something, for sure. They're wild. They're fucking wild. Yes, people have still tried to kill me here, but I get that everywhere I go. So, like, that's not terribly surprising to me. And I've just never felt lonely here. I've never felt afraid here. I feel very empowered being here every time I'm here. And then, like, being able to go out, like, they literally treat me like a queen. Like, they are so good to me here. I don't have to do anything for it. They just treat me with respect. Like, when I go out, like, I was dressed like an absolute whore last night. I felt great. I felt really good. I looked really good. But nobody made me feel uncomfortable about that. Like, nobody treated me anyway. I couldn't be like that up north in Wisconsin. You can hardly wear something that, like, shows your arms, or shows any cleavage, or shows too much leg without people, or like shows your midriff, any of that stuff, and people are like, make you feel some type of way. People are like hollering at you out their cars and shit like that. Like, you can't go to a bar alone here. The last time I was in a bar alone in Wisconsin, I got fucking roofied. Where, like, like I said, like, I can dress however I want, act however I want. I'm a comedian. That is incredibly crude. Like, all I know is dudes. People know me for selling pornographic content, like, and I still get treated with the utmost respect here. Man, it's so beautiful. It's so nice. I know this place is wild. I think that's why I fit in here. But because of that fun energy, and because it's been a minute since I've been in that, I wanted to use this deck. That's really what I'm getting at. Sorry, I'm not trying to, like, it just feels so nice. I've been so isolated for so long now. I mean, even the last time I was out, I went out with my friend Keith, who, like, is just doing incredible. Every time I see him, he looks better and better. He's really doing amazing for himself. Just made regular at the club. Like, he's doing incredible, and I love that so much for him. I just love seeing how things have moved and changed and progressed, and, like, these karmic cycles are working their way out in all these different ways. It's just really such an incredible thing to see here. It's a whole nother world here. It's so wild. So wild. But even the last time I'd been out with him, I still was, like, highly isolated at the time. I went out with a few different friends. I went out with multiple different people, but I was just, like, isolating in a weird way about it. Where, like, being out last night, I did it more, and I didn't stay out long. I didn't. I kind of wish that I would have. But, like, I did do it the way that I normally would, where I, like, walk around town by myself and then meet up with different people, see all these people at the clubs. Like, I see all these different people that I know, and, like, interact with, like, 20 different people a night, and, like, half of those people know me by name, recognize my face. Like, we've had experiences together, and like, you know, I don't know. All of that is just so nice. It's so nice. It was such a good energy. I know shit's about to get wild. I know shit's getting crazy. I'm just very excited. I'm very excited for where my life is headed. I'm not trying to be a dick, but like, I really don't give a fuck like so much about where anybody else is, because like, I've paid my dues and I've done a lot of fucking work to be where I'm at today, and I'm extremely proud of myself, and I'm not gonna let bullshit take that away from me. I still care for people. I'll still protect people. I'll still do the thing that I need to do in order to make the world a better place. But like, I'm also learning how to embrace my own happiness, and it is nice. And it is very nice. So I decided that I was going to use this deck to start out with. I was excited just to get up today to be able to do this. I didn't really actually get that much sleep, and I haven't for the last couple nights, so that's why my voice sounds like this. Also, I had a Red Bull and a shot of whiskey and a beer last night, and this is the second time that I've drank alcohol. I drank a couple glasses of wine. Actually, has there been 2 nights? I've had a couple nights now here where we've had dinner at the house, and I've had some wine. And I have been drinking coffee fairly consistently. Sometimes I just do tea. Sometimes I have my mushroom coffee, which is non-caffeinated. My coffee is caffeinated. But generally, I've been avoiding alcohol and caffeine and everything like that, too. But I think in part that's why my voice sounds so rough. I don't really care. Because I feel good. And this is a Adventure Time deck. And I love this shiny blue. It's so pretty. But when I got it, like, half these cards were like stuck together. I took the time to pull them all apart, and I've been attempting to shuffle it, but these cards are thick. They're thick and they're kind of sticky. They're super thick, so I'm gonna have to work with this one a lot in order just to make it easier to work with. Or just like kind of even, not even work with it, but like fuck around with it a bit just to get it. And I'm very excited because it's just a fun deck. It's such a fun deck. It's Adventure Time, right? But I actually only watched the first season of Adventure Time. So I think there is likely going to be a lot of references in here. Like, I don't know if most of it's just in the art style of Adventure Time, but I think a lot of it is actually including different characters throughout all the seasons, different stories and stuff that have kind of been in those episodes, and I will not be recognizing a lot of that. Came in this adorable tin, by the way. It is the Rider-Waite deck, which is the one that I'm generally accustomed to, so it shouldn't be too hard for me to do a read, but I love this. It's cute little thing. So it shouldn't be too hard, but there's likely references in the cards that I won't recognize. And if you are I have a couple friends that are like super big fans of Adventure Time, and like they would probably be upset if I didn't, not upset, but they'd be like, you don't know what that is, like you don't recognize those things. There is likely to be a lot that I don't actually recognize in here. So I'm going to read it like an oracle. I think if I knew the characters better, it'd be fun to do it with somebody who actually, to do a personal read with this deck, with people who actually know Adventure Time very well. Because if they know the characters and know the message behind it, they could actually be very engaging in the reading, educate me, and it would give a lot more power to the reading. So when I'm doing this, if you happen to know the characters, or you happen to know, if it is resonating with you, if you see the card and it makes you think something or feel some type of way, take that over whatever I'm saying. I'm reading this as, I'm just doing a general oracle out of it. So I'm going to read it the same way I would read any deck. But if you feel some type of way in seeing cards, and this goes for any of my readings, but like if you feel some type of way, even if it's in total opposition to what it is that I'm saying, consider that and keep with that and let that be its own thing as well for you, or let that speak to you even on top even before what I'm saying, sort of deal. You know, let what I'm saying kind of just like be a backup. And yeah, that's really true for any of my reads, but specifically with this one, because I felt like I needed to say that, because as I kind of perused through the cards, I was like this one, I don't know who this character is, but this is likely not just a drawing that's like Adventure Time. That's probably an actual character that I'm just not aware of in Adventure Time. But I still think that this would be such a fun deck. So, however, it's very stiff, so we'll see how this read goes. It's probably going to be a stiff read, one way or the other, again, just because I don't really know. Also, I swore that as I've been shuffling, and like as I pulled all the cards apart and put them together, that I kept them all upright, but I'm already seeing that there's some of them that are in reverse. I wasn't, because it all seemed like they were in the upright, I was going to do this read specifically all in the upright, which I've never done. I always take reversals. But since there are some that are reversed, I will take them if they are in the reverse. I think just because that's how I'm feeling. But this might end up even being a deck that I don't often take reversals with, or maybe I kind of go back and forth and kind of learn how to not always take reversals with this deck. Also, I also have this, which is the Oracle of Destiny cards. These are my first actual Oracle cards, true Oracle cards. Everything else I have is tarot, because that's what I know. I have yet to actually look through these at all. I haven't even shuffled these yet, so I'm going to do that. But these are just Oracle cards. They're beautiful. They have beautiful colors, beautiful art on them, but I have not even attempted to read them yet. I have no idea what the deck contains. And I am going to use these in the read as well. Not sure exactly yet how I'm going to go about that either, but I'm very excited to use these. And I think just the bright colors and stuff are just fun, and I want to get in a fun energy. This is a fun time. Yes, I get that we're in weird times and that it's hard to have fun right now because everybody's so upset, and because we have it's so dumb. We have people on one side that are super upset because they're in fear of things that have yet to even transpire. They're just assuming the worst, which is never a great option. But then we literally do have people on the other side that are like, we're free to rape women now. Women aren't in control anymore. And like, it's funny to say if you're talking about jokes. I have misogynistic jokes myself, but these dudes are being serious. And so I get why people are also terrified. I mean, we have a whole bunch of, like white supremacist dudes that are like, it's us here now. This is it. So I know things are about to get real wild. And as always, the best advice that I have for anybody is to stay grounded in yourself and to know yourself and to claim your power. Let these things help guide you into who you really are, what your power really is, and make the most of that. Don't let other people control you. I don't care what they say or what they think they're going to do. Stand up in your power. Let this be a time that motivates you to claim that full power. You don't have to be in fear. You don't have to be in fear. I'm aware. I hear what people are saying, especially like unstable mentally and emotionally, like white dudes that are taking this as a way to just be able to commit racial and sex abuse crimes. Don't let them make fools of themselves that way. Don't give them that power. It's the best advice that I have. Don't give these people power. We were never in control of any of this shit to begin with, and people are just claiming control where they think that they have it. Don't validate that for them. It's the best advice I got. Okay. I'm excited though. I don't know what this is gonna be like. We're gonna see. Okay, so give me, okay. I'm getting to do this totally differently than I've done anything before. I have shuffled these. I'm going to shuffle again some weird way. And I'm getting to just pull off of this deck, to not even flip through it, but to pull off of it. So that's what do I need to do? Split in half. We're gonna pull 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to pull 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I wish I had a setup. I need to get podcast recording equipment. I need to get content recording equipment. Because I would love to be able to do this where you can actually see. But this is the setup that I have. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this. This is so weird that it's coming out this way. Okay, so I'm going to read this starting here, moving here, 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 here to here. This is our first card. This is our last card. I'm just going to read it like it's a story, like it's progressive, like each card is moving into the next card and is thus kind of explaining that card. What's the word that I use? Clarifying the next card, and they all kind of work together in that way. But anytime that I come upon, which I'm assuming is only going to happen a couple times, I'm not going to use so many of these oracle cards in this read. I'm just incorporating them into it. But anytime that there's kind of a weird blockage of understanding, not sure how the cards correlate, that's what I'm going to use these oracle cards for. I wish that I had... Is this phone charged? The one thing I did notice in this oracle deck, I literally just like the same thing I did with all these decks. I just kind of... This is the first one that I've shuffled, and then I just shuffled the oracle deck for the first time. But when I first took them out of their boxes, I like spread them a bit just to kind of see a scan of like what the cards look like, and I wasn't actually reading them or like truly paying attention to like what they say, what the images on them are. But there was a card in here that had a cactus on it, so it stood out to me. I'm very much into cactuses lately. And fucking Texas, I guess. I don't know. But I noticed that was the one card in this oracle deck that I noticed the word on it. And maybe there was even other words. I don't know. Like maybe there was a whole phrase or something. I just saw the word aridity. I think that's how you pronounce it. I know that the word is referencing air, is referencing like hot air, dryness, arid. Like it's dry. You know, and there's a picture of a cactus, but like I already know that that's what the word means. But at the same time, if those are the type of words that are in here, they're obviously like, I haven't used an oracle deck before, so they're obviously like very different from the way that I would normally read a tarot deck. So I'm going to have this phone ready so that if need be, I can look those things up. I can look up. I know what aridity means. Aridity. I know what the word means. I don't know how to pronounce it. I've never used it actually before, and so because of that, that might be the case for a lot of these words. And just in case, I want to have my other phone available so that I can know what the fuck I'm talking about to some degree. Okay. Oh, there's such an interesting vibe. And now I gotta pee. Okay. I'm like amped up. I like feel very excited. Like I have, yesterday when I was going to the club, I know y'all want me to shut up and just get on with the read. Yesterday when I was going to the club, I felt super nervous and I was like shaking. I was like so anxious, and I think that's just because I hadn't been out in a long time. I felt great by the time I got there. I felt totally comfortable, was totally fine. I do have high social anxiety though, which tends to make me isolate. So I think that was in part because I just haven't been out in a long time. But now I'm feeling like these butterflies, like the same sort of like in the pit of my stomach, like all these butterflies, but it's like this like excitement, like this like I'm excited. I just feel like something great is about to happen. And it's like almost like more like it feels like all the stuff around me that's going on is supposed to try to make me feel some type of way, like don't start getting ahead of yourself, don't feel like things are going to be good because all this bad stuff is happening, when like I just don't feel that way. I feel like that's trying to get me off course, and I'm just like, nah, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm excited. I already know that something good is about to happen. I'm excited, and I'm excited to do the work, and I'm excited to get into it. Okay. I feel like I should pause this and pee and then come back. I'm gonna do it. So I'll be right back. I'm pausing it, so give me a second. Okay, let's start this read. Our first card in this read is Judgment. Okay, I actually saw this card when this is like the one card. It's so weird because like I said, I had to pull this deck apart, right? And as I was doing it, I like had pulled some apart and then I set them down and then I started pulling the rest apart and then put them on top. So this one was out for a minute. And I actually recognized this character from the show because me and my sister-in-law had an inside joke with this Abraham Lincoln. So this is Abraham Lincoln, and he's the president of Mars. So these people are on Mars, and these are all the Mars people. The show, like, I really should watch it again because, like, back then, I thought it was just a funny show, and I was not awakened to the esoterica I had already spent years learning about. But I wasn't awakened to it yet. I didn't recognize it yet. That didn't start until I was about 24. And even then, it took a while. So I wasn't fully awakened to it. And then my brother, I was watching it with my niece, and then my brother liked it, and his girlfriend and now wife liked it. But then after like the first or second season, it started to get far deeper into the esoterica, and then they were like, oh, this is satanic. This is all Illuminati. We're not given to any of this. So we also just stopped watching it. I was doing other things, so if I wasn't watching it with my niece, I wasn't watching TV to begin with. So, you know, I just stopped watching it. But there's so much depth to it. There's so much depth here. Like, I'm looking at these people. Like, I happen to know that this is from Mars. I don't know what kind of weird instrument this is that he's playing, but it has an infinity symbol on it. It has both an upwards and a reverse triangle, and then it has two eyes. And it's an instrument. I don't know if it's an instrument that he's playing. It almost looks like it's a pipe that he's smoking, because all the smoke is coming out of it. I'm aware that in the normal Rider-Waite tarot, the Judgment card is an angel, and I think there are clouds. It's like an angel in the clouds. But in this one, you know, like the divine is Abraham Lincoln, who never actually died. He just moved to Mars. And like, the inside joke from this episode is me and my sister-in-law would always be like, because he says something about like, I've been the president here for 200 years. And he like gets all goofy about it. We were doing it one time at a concert together. Me and her back and forth. We were dancing and we started doing this while we were dancing. So we were like in each other's faces and we were going 200 years, 200 years. And we just kept doing it. We were being really dumb. We were cracking each other up, right? Just being goofy. This drunk guy, this super drunk guy, came up and was like watching us. I was like listening to the music and stuff like that, but he was like watching us while we were dancing, and he couldn't understand what we were saying. He had no idea what we were doing. So then, like, he's just standing there by us, and he's just staring at us for, like, a few minutes while we were doing it. And then at one point, we kind of looked over at him, like, what's up, buddy? And he was like, dirty deeds. We just started crying. So he didn't know what we were talking about, so he just said he thought we were talking about dirty deeds. That's what he was hearing. So that's just what he said, and we started cracking up. So that became this other inside joke for us, on top of the one that was already an inside joke. Makes me think 200 years. This inside joke, 200 years. Dirty deeds. I don't remember the episode fully, but I think maybe Abe Lincoln actually, like, at first he's like this honorable character because he's the president of Mars, and like all of these people worship him. All of these people are like pilgrims, right? On Mars, but you can see by their hats too, they got these witch hats like pilgrims, and they're worshiping this, let's say, 300-year-old deity who's kind of really just playing them. This is so funny because, like, I wasn't trying to bring the politics and stuff into it. It's just obviously the energy that's out there today. So as an oracle reader, that's what I'm going to tap into. And that's what this reminds me of, is all of these people worshiping this divine entity because he's been there for 200 years. He's been ruling all of this. And they're all like, they're happy as shit. They love this guy. They're so happy about him passing this judgment, and they feel initially, like, all of these people are feeling like, oh, finally, this is our divine judgment. It's coming from this guy, right? And like, it's like, you know, you got your as above, so below. You've got the infinity of it, the balance of these things internally, and then there's an eye on either side, able to see these things clearly. But these people are pilgrim worshippers. Like, they're people of, they are people of faith, but they're not people of like not my definition of faith. They're people of like, they're religious people, right? They're not living off of faith. They're living off of belief in very specific people, places, things. This man, because of the position that he has, and because of this tool that he has. And it's a smoke screen. He's creating the smoke around him in order to make himself seem powerful. He might as well be the devil, as far as I'm concerned, in this picture, in this image. These cards are so wild. These reads are going to end up being longer, not even just because I couldn't shut the fuck up for the first half hour, but because there's so much here. It's cool looking at different, like the pink cards, those will be easy for me to go into because I'm used to that deck, but like, this is so interesting. There's so much to be pulled out of this. Okay, but that's what I'm seeing. And what I'm seeing is that these people are like praising this god of theirs because he's bringing in divine judgment. Okay, and that's the way that they're looking at it. However, I'm already like privy to these deeper happenings about it, to the way that this ends up, and these worshipers are worshiping a false god, and they're not going to be happy in the end. Maybe in the end, but they're getting tricked in this card. Judgment isn't just them, because we're praising the one that's bringing the judgment. We're free and we're on top of everything. It's not going to be like that. They're actually slaves themselves. Okay, that's what I got for that. The next card is the Eight of Coins in the reverse. These cards are like wild. These cards are really wild. There's 6 pentacles in the air. And like, this person is, you know, they're using their magic. And it almost seems like they're using their magic to like elevate these pentacles. But there's these 2 pentacles that are still on the ground, and they are crushing these flowers. There's flowers, but these pentacles are literally crushing these flowers. And so maybe in part that's like why this person is doing this magic, in order to lift these pentacles up and have them in the air, to signify their power and their magic, and to keep them from doing the damage that they're doing. And like, what I'm getting out of this character is like, one, they're using the rainbow. Their magic is the rainbow. So like, this has LGBT vibes to me. Also because this person is quite androgynous. I'm getting the vibe that it's a male, but they seem feminine to me. So it's an interesting, they're just androgynous. But they also have, their headband is the Rasta colors. So like, it strikes me as like them being like this type of hippie, and they're just using like their free love, everybody, love is love energy, right? They're a hippie using their love is love energy to raise these pentacles from the ground into the air. And they're raising them off in order to get them off of these flowers, in order to lift them off of these flowers. And maybe these pentacles were too hard to lift otherwise, you know? It's one thing, normally the 8 of Pentacles is a sign of abundance, that your hard work is paying off. And that is what this is reflective of, but it's also reflective of like, maybe it takes some magic to actually get this going. It takes this love is love magic to actually get these off the ground and moving in some sort of beneficial direction. Okay. I'm going to go to the 3rd card. These don't quite correlate to me yet, so we'll see if the 3rd card helps to explain their connection. The 2 of Cups in the reverse. So I think that this is, I don't know what her name is, but there's this like old lady elephant character that's like, I don't know, I can't think of what her name is, but she like has a funny voice, and she's so like sweet, but she's also like kind of crazy. And that's what these guys look like, only they look like a weird, like, mutated version of her. It's strange too, because one of the elephants has like almost like a ladder going up its leg. And this looks like a tank of some sort. So it almost looks like this is a tank. This is some type of weapon. Like you climb up into it and then direct the elephants. The 2 of Cups, but it's in the reverse. Yeah, so this reminds me of like, and it's right next to Judgment. It reminds me of like having a sense of union, having the sense of union and communion, feeling that, that like in a state of war almost, where it's like, my side is the winning side, and I'm picking the winning side, and that's what's going to make me win. And like this sense of union with waging war, and like putting oneself in a position of like feeling entitled or feeling like benefited because of a particular side. But being in the reverse, This was in the reverse too, though, huh? The 8 of Coins was also in the reverse. So that's giving me this feeling of like, just like this deception in that way. Things were set up in order to appear set, in order to appear like, we've got this whole community, we've got everything established, we're establishing life on Mars, right? Like we're all coming together to worship this one concept, and everything's going to fall into place. This is the direction that is going to lead us to a divine abundance. This is how we're going to win this battle, this seeming battle between two sides. But there's a deception here that way. It's a trick. It's not, there's not actual security. There's not actual security here. Hold on. Next is the 3 of Coins in the upright. Okay, so we've got, what's her name? Princess Lump. What's her name? See, I haven't watched this show in so long. Oh yeah, see, there's the little elephant lady. And there's the princess. I forget what her name is, but she has a funny voice. I relate to that princess the most. She has like this funny like dude voice. The lumpy space princess. And then this almost looks like this. It looks like it might be Rainbow Corn, I think is her name. Jake the dog's wife is a unicorn that's also a rainbow. And this is like, I don't know if you can see, but this is, looks like Jake the dog, but it kind of looks like Rainicorn, and it has a unicorn. I think this is, like I said, I haven't watched the show, but I think that it's Rainicorn and Jake's child. And then there's like, I think he's the mayor of like Candyland, essentially. Like all the people there are like little peppermints and candy canes and ice cream cones, and he's an ice cream cone. But he doesn't look satisfied. He doesn't look happy. He's also in a trench coat. He kind of looks like he's like, he kind of seems like he's up to no good to me. And then Rainicorn has, in the normal 3 of Pentacles, this is a map, a directive for how the temple should be being built, right? And they're still in this temple. But normally, like, the person here is the one carving, is the architect, and the one building the temple. And then you have these two people that are like giving them the directives as to building this. But in this whole vibe in this card, they're arguing. I don't know if you can see the lumpy space princess's face. She's mad and she's arguing. Rainicorn almost looks nervous. Jake Rainicorn baby almost looks nervous. It's weird too because, yeah, normally the person in this card is taking the directives from these people, but this one looks like it's almost like she's saying, no, I'm not going to just follow what it is that you have here. I'm not just going to do this. I'm not just going to do this. But what else is interesting is because there's no actual directives on this blueprint, which is how it normally is in the card. What this actually looks like to me, I wish that my phone made it appear clearer. You can't actually see anything. It's just gray and like wobbly. And then it's like shiny looking. And it looks like a thunder sheet. You know, those metal, real thin sheets of metal that you shake and wobble and it makes the sound of thunder. That's what that looks like to me. And then you see, I wish I could, like Buttercup or something. I wish I could remember her name, but this little elephant. And she looks like kind of concerned. She looks like, I mean, she kind of always looks like that, to be honest, but she looks like, she's on Lumpy Space Princess's side. But she's kind of like, you're right, she just wants like love and balance, and like she just sees that like there's this argument going on. Okay, so what I'm getting from this, one, I feel like Jake and Rainicorn's kid, whoever this Dogacorn is, with the thunder. One, it's almost like instead of this being like the people that are building the temple, it's kind of like the temple's already built and they're just doing business in it. That's the first impression I'm getting. And the business is being directed by this dude in the trench coat, okay? But he's kind of shady and he's not happy. And he's not happy with Lumpy Space Princess. And Lumpy Space Princess is like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not for this. And it's almost like it almost seems like, I mean, they're looking directly at each other. They're not even looking at the Dogacorn. They're looking at each other and they both have like angry faces. Where the Dogacorn is looking at Lumpy Space Princess almost like feeling trapped, kind of like feeling like, man, I already am affiliated with this person, but you're talking about how they're doing bad business and like, I can't disagree. And like, I'm sitting here trying to get you to like take part in this thing. Like, it's almost like this was like being presented as like, come make this noise with us. And it's already running out of space. I'm going to have to break this down and do 2 videos. Sorry. But it's almost like come make this noise with and or for us. Lumpy Space Princess is like, no, I don't agree with any of this. And like, it's crazy too, because when you think about this, like the mayor of that place, like he's normally like, he's an ice cream cone with sprinkles. Like he's supposed to have this like fun, nice, happy, pleasing, that's his appearance, that's his appeal. But in this trench coat and with that angry face and the way that Lumpy Space Princess, like Lumpy Space Princess is a no shit type of character. Like she don't take no shit, but she's a good person. Like she's kind of, she can be a little bitchy, she can be real grumpy, she can be a bit pessimistic, to be honest. But she's genuine and she has a sense of integrity. Where this is coming across like the mayor doesn't have that. Like he's trying to do something sneaky and not good. And she's like, no, I'm not going to be part of that. And it's almost, I think, making the Dogacorn like consider like where they stand in it all. And so I almost see like the Buttercup or whatever her name is, Elephant Girl, like being like seeing that and almost like being there to like comfort Dogacorn, because it just seems like there's gonna be this break and it seems like Dogacorn's gonna have to go into hiding of some sort. The mayor is definitely not going to get his way in this matter. Okay, so I guess that goes into like, yeah, this feeling of like there being these two sides at war when like really they're just part of the same fucking weird beast, to be clear. But that concept that being on one right side or the other is gonna like get you somewhere and gonna bring the sense of abundance, like that's all in reverse. You know, but it's like sneaky that way because these are such pleasant cards. So it's like sneaky that way. It's like that ice cream mare. it isn't as pleasant as it seems. All these people are so happy, feeling like they're building a new life on Mars, and, you know, they're trusting this system that's worked for the last 200, 300 years. But it's an illusion. He's blowing smoke. He's blowing smoke. The abundance isn't actually being lifted off of this. In fact, the magic is actually putting the abundance down onto these flowers and crushing these flowers, because this card is in the reverse. Okay, I'm going to stop this here, and I'm going to have to make a second part of this video, because it's already about to be up, and it has already been an hour. I apologize for talking so long, but this is all part of it. So we will pick up where we left off. I just don't know how much time is going to be left on this, or I would try to continue a little bit further, but we're halfway through the read. I'll get on with it after this. Sorry, thanks. End of part 1.